Welcome back to the
Gentlemen's
Dojo.
Oh, Steve.
Yes,
I'm
Gary.
excited.
Me too.
I'm excited.
Super excited.
This is not about me making fun of you
This
or
is
you
a first.
attempting to make fun of
Well.
me. Yes. This is all about love today, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Valentine's Day here in the Dojo Studios.
Oh, we'll go
We
that
are
far.
very excited.
Yep.
Part 2. We've never done a 2-part episode before.
It's true.
This is a very special after-school edition. 2 parts. The one where is it? Gordon Jump goes after Dudley at the bike store. The Maytag man who is now a
Different
child
strokes.
molester.
Yeah.
Remember that? Awful. Remember he was like typecast after doing that? He was trying to get Dudley into the storage closet for
Poor
a free
Dudley.
bike. Yeah.
Never
Poor
heard from
Dudley.
him again, by the way.
Never did.
No.
Although if they did make a made-for-TV movie, Roy Wood Jr. could be the grown-up Dudley.
Play the
Could be.
grown-up Dudley.
We're excited. Listen, we're very excited. We're very excited. We're doing
Yeah.
a part 2 of somebody. This is I very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Think of all the guests we've had. What, 76, 77 episodes?
that many. Yep.
This could be the most anticipated one for me. Where I'm
Exciting.
like, oh, this is going to be amazing. I'm
Exciting.
super pumped about this.
Exciting. Well, it does definitely lead back. We had on Chris Porter, and you and the gang went down to San Juan Capistrano, saw Corey Feldman
The
show.
Corey Feldman.
Yes.
And his Angels.
Yes.
Angelic to the core.
Yep.
We saw the concert. Blown away. I think all of us were anticipating, as comedians would be,
Yep.
a little pessimistic. Let's go in.
Sure.
Let's have some laughs, and we'll leave. And then we all left thinking, wow, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. You
great
loved it.
guy, great show. Just like a great presence. Like you wanted to root for the guy the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think we had mentioned in part 1, I think half the people were there because they are genuine fans of his
Curious.
music.
Right.
And then there's another half that's curious. You want to see the spectacle. You want to see what is all the hubbub about. And we definitely went in thinking, assuming the worst. And
Yeah.
we completely got just sucker punched. We were
Yeah.
this dude's pretty sweet. So, love the show.
Well, you posted this huge article on your Facebook page
Yep.
about how you went in thinking what it was going to be.
Yep.
Thought it was going to be one way, completely turned you the other way. Did all the guys you went with feel the same way, or
Everybody.
Really?
Everybody. Before the show, we were all laughing, like,
Yeah.
oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be so funny. We got to take pictures. And then, within the first song or two, we're all kind of looking at each other like, it's pretty good. And then the middle of the show is like, this is actually pretty fun.
Right.
And then the end of the show, it's like, we got to do this again.
Sure.
So it was that kind of vibe the whole show. And look, this is, you've been around comics.
Mm-hmm.
You don't call yourself one, but sorry.
Hangers on.
Yeah. But I mean, look, it was absolutely a great time. I
Yeah.
would strongly suggest to anybody, instead of going to see a movie that you're going to be disappointed in, take the $15-20, go see Corey Feldman. And especially if you grew up in the 70s or 80s,
Yeah.
it's a fun walk down memory lane to have him tell the stories or sing songs from like Lost Boys and stuff. It was pretty sweet.
And it was $15 to go see this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, and now he's on a big tour. In fact, we were going to mention this. He is calling us from the Midwest.
Yes.
So he had kind of forewarned us, hey, listen, I'm going through the Midwest. The coverage is pretty shoddy, but I'll do my best to make the call, and hopefully the call sticks. But yeah, he's all over the board. I mean, he's really just traveling and making this whole music thing a big part of his life right now.
Yeah. We are 5 minutes away from Feldmanity, as
Okay.
Chris Porter would put it.
Okay.
But you think about, look, here's the thing. It is so easy to watch those videos on the Today Show. It's so easy to watch those clips and think it's funny,
Sure.
I guess. I mean, I think especially with the internet these days, it being so cruel and vindictive, and everybody feels safe in a cubicle or in their home typing mean shit.
Right.
I think the difference when you go to these shows is that you're actually listening to the music, you're not seeing the spectacle, and you're watching somebody who is thoroughly giving it 100% and not phoning it in.
Right.
And I think that's the difference.
Sure.
And I'm not saying everybody's doing that, I'm not saying it, but when the Today Show servers crash because they can't handle the traffic
They
because
did,
people
yeah.
want to see it,
Yeah.
I think there is this curiosity factor of seeing this kid that was so iconic with all these movies in the 80s, and then it's like, wait, he's doing what? He's
Right.
singing, and he's got these god girls dressed as angels. What's going on? So I think there is that curiosity factor.
You said something too, like he's in great shape, right? You said he's in really good shape.
I gotta tell you, like as a dude who look, we're both of a certain age, right? We eat on the road. We're like, we got to get in shape. I mean, the dude, he came out during the Lost Boys song, leather jacket, no shirt,
right?
And I would too if I was in the shape.
Sure.
It looked like he just got done doing P90X,
right? And somebody's squirting him down in the back, squirting his abs down.
He looked awesome.
Listen, aside from his music, I mean, I'm going to go check it out, and I'm sure you're going to go back to see another show.
I'm going.
But I love his movies. I mean, look at all of the movies that he's done, and I mean, I don't know if I could pinpoint just one or two that were my favorites because there were so many. Lost Boys, Goonies, Gremlins, License to Drive. I mean, how many are there? I mean, there's just so many great movies that, in terms of our age and our age bracket, that go down in history as easily some of the best coming-of-age films ever.
Stand By Me, I mean, you look what Stand By Me did that influenced. If there's no Stand By Me, I don't believe that there's a Wonder Years.
True.
And everybody remembers the pie eating contest. But it's such a great coming-of-age film, and all four of those characters, you felt for every single one of them. It was so fleshed out and well-developed. And then I think everybody coming out of that movie, you're thinking, oh, River Phoenix is going to be this huge star. And then, look what happens. But here we go.
I'm so excited, Stephen.
We've got to welcome.
If they want to do it on my room, that's fine, but that's one. Hello?
Hello!
Corey, how are you, buddy?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Dude, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us about the music, your career, everything. Just we really appreciate it, man. Honestly, thank you so much.
No worries. It's a little crazy right now. Timing is a little weird because we just pulled into town. We haven't had service for the last few hours.
So you're catching up?
Got into our new hotel, so we actually have to unload the entire RV right now, but I'm going to try and do this. So I probably don't have that long, but we'll do the best we can.
Of course, absolutely. I got to, let's just, and I know I wrote that Facebook post and then you responded to it. I just got to say on behalf of, and since I put that post out, there's so many comedians that truly, truly are fans of yours. I know Eliza Schlesinger just took a picture. She posted it. She was at a bar. I mean, there were so many comics that wrote me that were so curious about the show. Comedians, as you know, you did an evening at the Improv years ago. We can be a little pessimistic, maybe on the negative side. There was a group of us that went in thinking, okay, we're going to have some laughs. Dude, we all came out of it converted fans. And
oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate that.
I got to tell you, we absolutely love the show. And you absolutely care, and that's the thing I really, being a performer myself, and Gary and I were talking about other performers, even Porter, we talked to him earlier today, Chris Porter, another comic, we were talking about so many times you feel let down by these iconic bands you'll spend so much money to go see. What is your drive? What is it? It's almost like, I don't know, to me it was almost like you're letting everybody know, hey, this is it, man. I'm into it. I love this. And you were going for it. It was absolutely great.
Well, it's just a lifetime of being an entertainer. This is what I do. So for me, it's just, I'm just doing another show. I mean, I don't really look at it in any other way other than, obviously we're quite happy that all the shows are selling out, and we're quite happy that there's a good buzz around the thing. And, obviously the success of the last album has been tremendous and, obviously very, rewarding and inspirational as an artist because, that's what you want. And also coming from a guy who, it was almost like, my music career was like my dirty little secret for like 20 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we put my music in films, we put out my albums, we did tours, but it was like only the hardcore cult fans were about it. Until like the biggest thing we did was the Truth Movement performance at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk where we had 15,000 people. And that was the first time I was like, okay, this is what it feels like, to do a real show. And that was kind of the first one. And then from there, it's just gone up and up and up. But it's been, you go back and forth. You do one thing and you make some headway, and then you get kicked back. And, of course, with all the negative press and the controversy and all that stuff, then it sends it back the other way. So this is the problem. Imagine if every time you went on stage, you had a group of people that were destined to try to make it look like your act wasn't serious, or that you weren't, a professional comedian.
Right.
You'd be like, what the hell? You'd be like, what are you, crazy? This is what I do. What are you talking about? It's my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's almost the feeling, is like these people trying to constantly say, oh yeah, but what you do isn't valid. Your music isn't real. Your music isn't legit. Your music isn't whatever, or your performance isn't. And you just go like, what are you talking about? Because when you look at the fans' faces, and this has been the same since I was a kid. I mean, I go out there and people scream, and they have a good
Right.
time, and they rock, and they have they sing along, they dance, whatever. You saw it, So that's what I experience at every show. So that's where there's a big disconnect, because on one side I'm looking at every show I've ever done. It's always been the same. People have a great time, and my fans know that it's going to be a terrific concert. But for people who buy into the media BS and they get caught up in it, they go, oh, it's going to be a joke, or what's this going to be? Oh, it's probably going to be, unprofessional, and it's a train wreck. Or, it's like, guys, come on. I've been doing this for 35 years. You really think I don't have it together right now?
Right.
I know how to put a show on,
Well, what is it you
anyway.
think that creates the curiosity factor? Because the initial Today Show appearance, you guys, you crashed the Today Show servers. I mean, that's how much traffic was going and making this video go viral. What is it that you think spurred that?
Our first opportunity to ever perform in front of a massive audience.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to realize I've always been kept down, like always. Like anytime we volunteer, like, 9/11 happened. I was in 9/11. There were all those big concerts for 9/11. I should have been a part of that because I was there. I was part of it. I was with Michael Jackson. It was a historic thing. And I offered my services, and it was like, nah, sorry, no room for you on this telethon. Nah,
Right.
sorry, we can't give you that spot. So all my life, every time I've ever tried to be a part of like the things that matter, to do good stuff, to do good charity concerts, to do good benefit performances, things like that, I've always been X'd out of. They've never given me a primetime spot on a talk show to perform. They've never given me, the opportunity to do giant concert halls and stadiums and things like that. Even though we know we can fill them, it doesn't matter. They won't give us the opportunity because they don't want to give me the credibility to make it look like our act is for real. For whatever reason, it's this tug of war with the media. And this one time, it was like, I almost think it was set up in a way like, hey, fine, let's get rid of him forever by putting him out there and putting all this negativity and this negative press around it to make people have one good laugh, and then he'll get so humiliated that he'll never come back and he'll be done forever. And I really think that was the intention behind it. And then instead it backfired because everybody got the opportunity to see what we do.
Right.
And they went, what are you talking about? This is awesome. I want to see more.
So did you
and that
feel
kind of opened a whole can of worms that they weren't expecting. But I knew, give me that shot. Give me 5 minutes of America's, attention, and we will prove them wrong.
And did you feel there was redemption in the terms of the viewership and the fact that you got to come back
Absolutely.
and take a stand a second time?
Absolutely. Well, not just that, but the redemption also came in the form of selling out of every copy of my CD.
Yeah.
It came in, the form of hitting number 32 on the Billboard charts for the song Go For It. It came in many forms of validation, but mostly the biggest validation was the thousands upon thousands of emails and Facebook messages and Twitter messages. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of people saying, thank you for continuing to do what you do. Thank you for, not letting them keep you down, because you're my inspiration to keep going for it. You're my inspiration to keep moving forward. And that's powerful. You start seeing, kids who I talk to who are in high school or junior high, and they're cutting themselves, or, they're depressed because they let people bully them, and, they don't know how to stop it, and they don't want to go to school anymore. They don't want to wake up every day anymore. They're in severe depressions over it. And they see me, who's gone through all of the stuff that I've gone through in my life, rape, molestation, all these terrible things, and all this negative press and all this, crap from everybody. And yet I don't lay down. I just keep moving forward. I go, oh, well, that's the thing. Next, because
Yeah.
I know in my heart that my true fans, and there's millions of them all over the world, are going to be there to watch whatever happens next.
It's almost
so
like
I'm not worried about it.
you became a voice for the underdog. Is that fair to say in terms of everything that's gone on since the videos?
There's no mistake that the last song on my new album is Working Class Hero.
Right.
Because that says it all.
Here's the thing.
The words to that song really say, it really, identifies me and my persona. Because it's like, I've worked my whole life to be the average guy.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, you're not the average guy working with those angels. God bless you, Corey. I also have to tell you this. The thing is, I think so many folks like myself, I was born in 74. I grew up with you. You're a big part of my life in terms of these iconic films. And I know you, I identify you so much with these films. But then when you go down the rabbit hole and you see your career play out on YouTube, that's when I learned you've been singing the whole time. It's my fault. I've known you for Goonies and stuff. So when I see you and Bud Friedman is introducing you and you're performing at the Improv, it's like this dude's been singing the whole time. And you closed your show when you said, I'm closing the show with a song I wrote when I was 15. I go, look, this is going to be garbage because anybody writes at 15 is going to be. Dude, it was the best song of the night. And I'm like, that's why you closed. Dude, it was fucking awesome. I'm not lying. And it went on for like 8 or 9 minutes. You got the whole crowd singing. You're on the tables. We're all singing at the top of our lungs. I felt like I was at Oasis singing Don't Look Back in Anger. I'm like, this is fucking great. It's an epic closer. And that's when I really appreciated the fact that music has been in your whole life. And it was like an education for me now as a fan that I really appreciated. I know Gary Canna has a question for you.
Yeah, and I was wondering, Corey, obviously there were those times when you wanted those primetime spots. You wanted to jump in and help out and do the telethons for 9/11, and everybody kind of shunned you. Do you care about doing that stuff now, or because you've kind of done things your own way, you're kind of like, F you?
No. I don't hold resentment. I'm here to help, I'm always going to be on the winning team. Whatever I can do to push people forward, to motivate people, to inspire people, to continue doing good deeds for each other, to helping each other. I mean, that's what the song It's So Simple is. You were talking about that song. That's what it's about. It's so simple. And the point of the song is that it's so easy to just give a little. People are so selfish and they're so stuck up on their own thing, and they're worried about money, and they're worried about finance, they're worried about their girlfriend, they're worried about whatever. And it's like, in all of our selfishness and all of our gluttony, we overlook the things that matter most, and we also overlook the simplest solutions. And the simplest solutions really come from giving, because let me tell you how it works. It's positive energy creates positive energy.
Yes.
Negative energy creates negative energy. Now, I understand. I've been a comedian, too. I did stand-up. When I was 15, I was doing stand-up. I played at, Catch a Rising Star in New York. I played at the Comedy Store. I played at Improv. I did it all. But I decided early on that I didn't have the heart for stand-up. You guys, have to have actually tougher skin than singers do. Because as a singer, they either relate or they don't. But they don't sit there and, boo you most of the time. Or, talk crap to you the whole time and not let you finish your performance. It happens, but not as, readily as when you're doing stand-up. When you're doing stand-up, you're really going into the war zone, And when I'm on a good day, I don't mind bantery. But if I'm feeling sensitive, and that's the thing, as you have to get up and you have to be funny whether you're in a good mood or not. And I'm not good at that.
Right.
I'm good at being funny when I feel like it, but if I don't feel like it, forget it. So I knew right away, I can sing and dance no matter what mood I'm in, because it's letting out, this kind of burning fire inside me. But when it comes to comedy, it's a whole different world.
Well, I want to ask you this too. I know that I know you've had this friendship with Michael Jackson, and there's a nice tribute in there that you do. But the one thing I think that maybe there was some correlation between you two is that when I heard the song you did on the Today Show, Take a Stand, where when you performed it live, and there was 2 or 3 other songs like that, and it goes back to what you were saying a second ago, where you almost are relaying the message of an outsider, but also being very inclusive of everybody and a loving message. And that's what I always got from Michael Jackson's music and videos. And that's definitely what I got from, it seemed like your songs and the message of your songs. Am I fair to say that?
Thank you. No, that's beautiful. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That means that you were tuned in and actually listening, you
Yes.
know, and that's what we hope for. We hope that, you know, beyond the
Corey, I
glamour
drove an
of
hour.
it,
I was
the
definitely
lights
listening to you.
Oh, well, bless you. No, but you know, seriously, you know, people drink and they get there with their buddies and they have a good time and, you know, whatever. And a lot of times you miss it. You miss the message, you know, because you're not really listening. So, you know, I always appreciate it when I find out that people actually got something from the show, and especially something on an elevated level, because that's what it's all about. But that night in particular, you were at the Coach House, right?
I was at the San Juan Capistrano.
Yeah, the Coach House.
That was the very first one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So at that show in particular, I noticed, and it happened during the second song, but it was kind of cool because, like, okay, Something in Your Eyes was the first song, and that was fun, and everybody was on their feet. But there was this, like, look where, like, 25% of the audience had this kind of, like, raised eyebrow smirk on their face, like, oh, yeah, what's this going to be about? Yeah, impress me.
So you saw me.
And that was probably more so than any other show so far.
Yeah.
But we really felt that when we walked out there because it was the first show, and it was a lot of new people and looky-loos and not, you know, the regular fans. And so it was like, uh-oh, you know, what are we going to be dealing with here? And then when we broke into Ascension Millennium, the second song, it was like halfway through that song, I literally saw that smirk change on everybody
Yeah.
at the same time. It was like this went from like this kind of skeptical, kind of, you know, cynical look on their face to like a really inspired, just kind of like beautiful smile. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, but like there was an elevation that occurred amongst the entire room. And I felt like we really did ascend together. It really felt that way.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's almost like this, you know, with that portion of the crowd that is going to be there for the curiosity factor? Do you feel that there is this almost like chip on your shoulder, or like fuck you, I'm going to prove you wrong, dude. Watch what happens. I'm a professional.
Yeah, but not in an FU sort of way. It's more in like a, hey, you know what? Look I'm going to bring you something you didn't even expect.
Right.
You know, let's get there together. Let's go have this fun together. Let's light up the night, and let's just be in the awe of the beauty of it all. You know, because that's what it's about. It's positive music. It's positive music, positive messages, and you know, hey, it doesn't hurt to stare at a bunch of gorgeous girls while we're
Right.
doing it. So, you know, there's nothing negative about any of it. You know what I mean? So if you walk away from something negative or with something negative from it, then that's in your own head.
And how did you find the angels? How did you find these angels? Like the girl that plays the violin and the keyboard, she played the
Margot
violin.
Lane.
She was extremely talented.
Yes, extremely talented. Yes, we're very lucky to have her. She's the musical director, in fact, for the show.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, let me tell you, it was no easy feat finding these girls. It's been literally, I mean, I'm saying 2 years of intensive rehearsals, auditions, firings, bringing new girls on. I mean, like, literally, we've been refining this band for 2 years straight, trying to make the perfect mix of people, of musicianship, of talent, because at the end of the day, there's, you know, we're asking a lot.
Yeah.
A girl's got to be young. A girl's got to be beautiful. A girl's got to have a good enough body to wear that outfit. A girl's got to be highly skilled to be able to play like 30 or more songs from all types of different genres. And, you know, they've got to learn all this material in like, well, some of them, like drummer who came on literally 11 days before that first show, had to learn 22 songs in 11 days. You know, so we're talking like extreme professionalism and intensive work schedule. I mean, we've been going nonstop. So like you'll notice the band from the Today Show is a totally different band than the band that we're on tour with, aside from Brittany, the guitar player. She's the only one that's the same.
Right.
But and Courtney, of course. But I mean, like all the other girls are new. And it took us, you know, a long time to find those girls. I mean, literally, you know, we would have these drummers. It was the craziest thing with drummers. I don't know what it is, but it's a rock and roll thing. Like every rock and roll band will say the drummer is the crazy one. And we literally went through so many freaking drummers. And every time it'd be like, a girl would come in, she'd be gorgeous, she'd be beautiful, she'd play it perfectly. We'd be like, yeah, you're the one. And she'd be like, yeah, you know what? I just realized that I can't go on the road. I've got this thing, and I'm in another band. And we're just like, what? Are you crazy?
I have
Like,
this
why would
baby.
you go learn somebody's material backwards and forwards, 3 songs, and come to an audition,
Right.
do it perfectly, have everybody love you, and then you talk numbers, everything's cool there, but then you're like, nah, you know, I never mind, I changed my mind. And we would get stuff like that, and it would drive us crazy. So, you know, and then you go through 50 girls that can't play, or they don't have the right look, or they don't, you know, and then you find one more, and then something happens with that one. You get all excited, and then something goes wrong. I mean, so we had that on and off, and then the other band members start getting discouraged because they see one falling out, and they're like,
Right.
well, this isn't for real, and we're never going to make any money at this, so then they leave. You know, it's just to keep the morale up, to keep everybody psyched, to keep everybody excited and moving forward. It's a lot of work, and especially with girls. I've never worked harder in my life to keep a band together than I have since I've started producing a female band. I mean that, really.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
Truth Movement guys are a cinch. I mean, you know, it's no problem. Like, hey, we got a gig. All right. We plan our rehearsal days. We all show up. We do the gig. It's done. But, like, with these girls, it's been something else. But finally, we have a solid group of girls that I'm very proud of. I'm very pleased with. And I'm very, very excited to move forward and tour the world with these girls. So I think we've got our solid group now.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
how's the tour going? Where are you guys right now? Where are you guys heading? How's
Right
that?
now, we just pulled into Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And we're doing a show here tomorrow night. So we've got the night off, which is nice. So get out of the RV and stretch our legs for 24 hours.
Yeah.
But we've been in hell. I mean, this has been, we call it the angelic RV, which has been anything but angelic. It's like literally we've blown 4 tires on the road. We've had
It's like road rules.
refrigerator blow out like 5 times. So all of our food's been ruined. We've been transferring it in and out of things. I ended up smashing off the back end pulling out of a gas station the other day. So our entire back end of the thing ripped off, and we had to duct tape it back together. I mean, the heater's been out. We were freezing. We woke up the other morning because we had no furnace. I mean, you know, electrical problems, you name it. Literally every problem you can imagine has gone on this freaking road trip. But somehow we persevere. We move forward.
It makes you stronger.
And we're here and we're ready to rock.
But when
So
you're driving, Corey, when you're driving through the Midwest and you got to stop and get gas somewhere, and you go into like a Shell station, is anybody
people
like
freak out?
Yeah, I was like, is Corey Feldman filling up that Winnebago? Like, what's going on here? Like, is that
Right,
what
exactly.
happens?
Well, security mostly does the filling up, but yeah. They'll see me jumping out, you know, and going to get coffee or whatever. And, you know, I drive half the time on this trip. I mean, when we go do the summer tour, we're going to do, you know, we're talking 40 to 60 dates if we do this tour, which is, you know, looking more and more likely every day because we're selling out all the shows and we're getting offers left and right. So what I'm thinking is we're probably going to do like a 40 to 60 day tour in the summer. And for that one, we're getting a bus with a bus driver and I'll be sleeping in the back. Thank you very much.
Yeah, isn't that crazy to think that that you're driving the bus, you're taking it around, like you're in charge of making sure everybody gets from point A to point
Well, you
B?
can't let the drummer drive. She'll leave halfway through the tour. She'll just
Well, no, that's just it. I mean, there's me and security, and we you know, we kind of switch back and forth because, you know, we're not going to make the band do it. They can't drive, you know.
Right.
Corey, how
Yeah.
old are you, by the way?
22.
22. I got to tell you.
Same age as Chelsea Handler.
Exactly, yeah.
Perfect.
Corey, I got to tell you, you came out you sang a song from the Lost Boys, and you come
Right.
out, you got the leather jacket, no shirt. I'm like, oh, fuck this guy, man. And then it's like you're shredded, and I'm like, yeah, I'd fucking do that if I had that body too. God bless you, Corey. I mean, fucking
Thank
jacked.
you so much. Well, let me tell you something. It's from a hard life of strict vegetarian diet. You know, I don't ever waver on that. I've been vegetarian for almost 30 years, and I don't drink alcohol, and I don't do hard drugs, and I don't smoke cigarettes. So it's healthy living, you know. Healthy living, you're going to have a good body. That's just the way it works.
That's not us, Steve.
That
Steve,
is-
Steve
yeah.
and I go out on the beach and we wear a one piece.
Yeah, every week when we hit the road, we
Depends what you
eat.
dedicate yourself to.
Yeah.
But for me, it was never about like health really or even looks. It was more about just my love for animals. So I just stopped eating animals when I was like 12 years old and didn't realize that I would have all these benefits derived from it. But I you know, I got lucky, I guess.
But is it, Steve and I work the road a lot too, and we go to the same places throughout the Midwest that I'm sure you guys are hitting. Is it harder to eat healthy and all that good stuff when you're on the road, or you're so programmed
well,
now? It's okay.
That's why one of the things, the refrigerator is such a big deal for us on the road, because we've got literally all of our vegetarian food, all of our vegan food on this bus. And my wife, Courtney, she's a strict vegan. So she's got to make fresh vegan stuff every day. She's got to make these shakes and these fruit smoothies and, all kinds of stuff. So we have to have her, her powered Veggie Max or whatever the
Sure.
blender thing. We've got to have her pressure cookers and her steamers. So we've got a full throttle kitchen going here. And we pull over every night and we make fresh vegetarian and vegan food for the band.
We feel the same way about Arby's, I think is what we're driving at.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Corey, I got to ask you, you've had this storied career. I mean, you've literally, your resume is stacked. You've done everything. You've been working since you were, a baby. Is this the most gratifying part of your professional career in terms of, all those films? You had by the way, you had a string of films that anybody would be happy to be associated with.
Just one of them, right?
But you got to do a ton of them. Is this, though, the most gratifying personally for you, being out there with your tunes that have been with you for so long?
Well, yes. I mean, this is definitely the dream. This is what I've been working so hard for, because, as I said, for a long time it was just getting people to take it seriously, or to, the legitimacy of it all. Come on, guys, already. Jesus, I always say it took me 30 years to become an overnight success in music, which is literally what happened, right?
Yeah.
I went for 30 years of putting out albums and touring, and nobody outside of the direct fan group noticing. It was like the rest of the world was just on, mute or something. And then all of a sudden with the Today Show, it was like, boom, everybody knows, and everybody's into it. And it's cool, So now we're just stoked. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. We're so grateful and so happy to be able to do this, to share this music with so many people, and there's so many people wanting to see it. Every show is sold out. We just found out, the next show is sold out, and the next show is sold out. It's like we're selling out every night. So I couldn't be happier with that. Now, there is another side to it, which is I still make films, and I still am very proud of my film work. So, while we're doing this, simultaneously, I'm producing a movie right now for Lifetime about my life, which we haven't really announced in the press yet, but it's happening. So literally we're doing both things at the same time. So that's shooting in LA.
Nice.
While I'm producing it, over the phone and through, text messages and emails and whatever. But I'm basically trying to be on the set virtually while I'm out here. And then there's another film that I have coming out, which I starred in, where I play a tranny vampire, which is going to be a crazy horror film that's coming out later this year. So I've got my full production stuff going on both sides.
Yeah.
So, and I'm, and as long as we're making it, I'm proud of it. Long since, the days where I've just been a hired actor are gone, I mean, it's been quite a few years since, we just kind of go on auditions and do all that stuff. I don't do that anymore, because that stuff was driving me crazy, but
yeah.
As long as we're making the film, we're producing it from Corey's Angels Productions or whatever, then I'm happy.
Well, I do want to ask you this because, look, one of your best friends was the iconic Michael Jackson. I know you guys were tight. What do you think he would say about this moment right now for you in terms of the touring? You're going out there, you're making music, you're selling out.
Oh,
what would his response
be? He'd be very proud. And especially some of the shots that I've seen from the tributes. I mean, there's some beautiful shots and beautiful photography people have been taking, and some shots where it's kind of eerily similar. Where you look at this picture, you're like, wait a minute. I mean, there's literally footage that people put up from the performance where I'm like, wait, is that Michael or is that us? And that's kind of cool, because that means that I'm doing it right, and the fans are really, really, they're really gravitating towards it. They're really, appreciating it. So I know that he would be proud, because if they're buying it and they're feeling it, then I know that he would be proud. We watched Dream a Little Dream in the movie theater in Neverland once. Me and Corey Haim went over to Neverland and we showed him Dream a Little Dream. This was late 90s. And, he'd never seen the movie. So he didn't know anything about it.
Oh,
he didn't know that I danced like it. And he just started busting up, because he was like, oh, my God, look at you. Oh, my God. Look at you dance. Go, Corey, go. He was like really into it. So he thought it was funny. He always thought it was funny when people, tributed him in any way. But especially when it was a good friend of his, he would just kind of chuckle and get off on it.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him, because I do the same thing. I see kids dressing up like me doing my moves or whatever, and I get the same kind of reaction. I have to giggle because it's cute. It's funny.
What was your favorite movie to work on? Well, I mean, you have so many great movies that we all love. What was your favorite?
Oh, God. Well, to work on as a kid was The Goonies, of course, because it was a great kid adventure.
Yeah.
But, again, I'm very favorable to the work I do today, preferably, versus the work I did as a kid, because of the fact that as a kid I was a hired gun. I was just, working soldier. Versus now, when, I actually know what I'm doing and I'm putting real thought into it and I'm putting real work into it and craft and, really trying to make quality work. So, it's kind of like, as a kid, I just got really lucky and I was just kind of bumbling into these awesome opportunities, but not really having any appreciation for it. Whereas now I appreciate everything I get.
And
So
is it
that's
a little
the
different too, because when you're a kid actor or even when you're an adult actor, everything's taken care of for you, right? Because obviously people want to treat you right. You're working on a big budget film. There's craft services. Everybody's just handling you because, you're the star of a movie. And then you go out and do this road show. And like you said, you're working with a busted refrigerator. You're driving the Winnebago. How different is that for you?
Well, I mean, luckily I'm not a jaded egomaniac who sits around and lets everybody watch it, but that's just not my style. Never have been. I'm a very hands-on guy, and like I said, just a normal guy, really. I mean, obviously a bit eccentric, or have my nuances, but we all do. Any artist, I would say. But overall, I mean, I don't mind getting my hands dirty. If it's for the good of the common man, shall we say, or the common angel at this point.
Well, Corey, I got to tell you, look, I've been a fan. I actually read your choreography bio book. You're very brave to come out and reveal and be so open and honest with the things that you did in that book. And then to see literally like within a year, I'm watching you live, and dude, you just seem like a great guy. You seem like you come from a place of positivity, and you're not out there to blame anybody else. You're like picking the world up by its own slacks and getting the work done on your own. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time, man. I really appreciate it.
God bless you. Thank you.
And
I really appreciate you. Let me say, as far as comedians go, you're all right. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll take that, man.
You got to realize, I grew up like in comedy. Like, that was my life. Like, literally before music, I transferred to music. I mean, well, I guess it's probably 50-50 because my dad was also in the Strawberry Alarm Clock, so I was always around music. But at 15 years old, other kids were like trying to get into like clubs or strip bars. I was going to the Comedy Store.
Wow.
And I was hanging out with Sam Kinison. And that's
right,
where
yeah.
I spent my nights. At the Crest Hill House, and with all of the guys, with Jimmy Schubert, with the Todd, with all those, Carl LeBove, all those great comedians from the 80s. And that's where I was raised. That was my education. So I did that from like 15 to 18. And then I started like going and hanging out backstage at all the rock shows. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I literally got my education from the masters on both sides.
That's why you're a cool guy.
Generally comedians are really dicks.
I agree,
They're very unhappy people. They're very depressed people, and they usually take that out in their audience.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's every once in a while you meet enlightened comedians that are still funny, still edgy, but just don't have to go around with a chip on their shoulder.
Right.
And it's refreshing to see. So thank you guys for being who you are.
Well, dude, we wish you the best, continued success on the tour, and we will be seeing you, I think, April 23rd. There's a group of us coming with even more comedians, and, dude, we're going to be rooting so hard for you, man.
Beautiful. Well, I can't wait to see you guys again, and we'll get you upstairs this time so we can all take a good picture.
Hell
that'd
yeah.
be awesome. That'd
Love
be great.
it, Corey. Good luck on the tour.
Perfect.
Stay warm in Green Bay. All the best to the girls, and we'll see you soon, pal.
Thanks for taking the
Thanks,
time,
guys.
Corey. We appreciate it.
Have a great day and enjoy that nice warm weather in LA.
We will.
All right, pal.
Thank you, buddy. Have a good
care,
show
man.
tomorrow night.
All right, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, bud.
Wow.
What a
That
good
was
dude.
awesome.
Yeah,
What a great guy. But that's, like, when you talk to him, you can hear how, like, positive and upbeat he is, and you'd think with, dude, if you read his book, it's just like, this guy has every reason in the world to be angry,
Of course.
and pissed.
Yeah.
With I don't want to get too graphic into the book, but it's some pretty rough stuff, and you hear how positive he is, and that's also what you see reflected when you see him live.
Sure.
It was just great. So I look forward to seeing him again. Hopefully you can join us.
Oh, I'm coming.
I know
Yeah.
you're not doing anything. You're not gigging.
Steve, it's a Saturday night. How do you know I'm free? We gotta rip off that idea from Keen about doing that talk show thing.
Oh, the guest.
Yeah.
Guest of honor.
What a good dude. So I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Corey
I would just love to be like in Green Bay at a supermarket and be like, is that Corey Feldman pulling up in that RV? Like with the.
But then you see like 8 girls, you're like, that's definitely Corey Feldman.
That's Corey Feldman coming out
By
there.
the way, I'm telling you, that dude was fucking ripped.
Yeah,
like
I bet.
Spider-Man, like ripped.
I bet.
Like you're like, what the fuck? I guess I got to be a vegetarian.
Yeah.
We got to stop eating like 8th graders.
Oh, I'll pass.
Well, we cannot thank Corey Feldman enough.
Yeah.
I
What a
think
good dude.
that there's so many folks that maybe will listen, or you're thinking the worst, or you're gonna think you're gonna go to that show thinking, oh, it's gonna be a joke. Look,
Sure.
the joke's on you. The guy's
Yep.
great. He's a fucking great force of energy, very positive, and I look forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, thank you, Corey Feldman, for calling in. What a great show. I loved it.
Awesome. So at Cannon Comedy, Gary Cannon, at Steve Byrne Live. My new Showtime special, Tell the Damn Joke, comes out Friday, April 7th, 9 p.m. on Showtime. I will be in Boston this weekend, Cleveland next weekend, and we'll give you some more dates later. That's it.
Thank you for listening, everybody.